ever punch Johnny Depp with a closed fist in the history of your relationship with Johnny?
Answer it however you feel you wish to.
Thank you. One time, Johnny was hitting me, and he was hitting me hard and repeatedly, and I was screaming. Security walks in, and they don't do anything about it. And he makes this motion when Jerry Judge yells "boss," or Sean, I can't remember who it was, and all we had was a little bit of separation, and my sister runs down the stairs. We're on a landing in between two flights of stairs.
Ms. Hurd, I must interrupt you because I've asked you a yes or no question.
Withdraw your question then, because she's answering.
Ms. Hurd, prior to today's date, have you ever hit Johnny Depp?
Answer it however you wish. You've already asked, and she's already answered, and you interrupted her.
Ms. Hurd, have you ever hit Johnny Depp prior to today?
Objection, vaguest of times.
Everyone on this side of the room, please.
Objection 352. It's not relevant to this domestic violence proceeding.
Overruled.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Answer it however you want to, including the way you were just...
I'm asking for a yes or no answer.
You don't have to answer it the way she wants you to answer it.
He was about to push my sister down the stairs. She was attempting to break us up. I am protective over my baby sister. When he laid hands on her, I don't know what I did, but I know I jumped in between the actions that I saw could lead to a fatal injury to my sister. She was standing on the top of a flight of stairs, and she has never hurt anyone in her life, and she does not deserve to be pushed down the flight of stairs. And it looked like she was about to be. And I would have done what anybody who has a child or a sister would have done. I acted defensively in her life. I saw her standing on top of a flight of stairs and trying to interrupt a fight in between him and I. I don't know what part of my body I put in between me and him and her. But I would have done anything. I would have done anything to prevent her from being pushed down a flight of stairs.
All right, Court TV special contributor Ashley Banfield back with us. Ashley, as I watched this part of the deposition, do you think there's enough in here to prove that maybe at times she was the aggressor in the relationship?
Yes, but, and I say yes, but, because there is so much evidence to sift through, and there's so much history with these two that it's just such a volatile history. Most of what Amber Heard has said, not just in that deposition, but at other times, is that she has been in a flurry of physicality with him as well because it's in self-defense. She has said that much of it is her reacting to Johnny Depp. And that's obviously, I think if anybody's looking at this case and they believe in Johnny Depp, they'll believe that that's a very convenient excuse, or it's a very convenient response. But there is another piece of evidence that's been entered into the proceedings. It hasn't been played in open court yet. And we were lucky that the Daily Mail allowed us to use the evidence that they were able to actually physically get from the court. And you should probably see that this is a surreptitious recording that Amber Heard made of Johnny Depp, presumably during a bit of a drug or alcohol-fueled binge in a kitchen. And I think it might show a little bit about the demeanor of Johnny Depp and some of the things that Amber Heard was describing she had to react to. Take a look.
What happened? What happened? Nothing happened this morning, you know that?
Were you in here?
No.
So then nothing happened to you this morning?
Yeah, you're right. I just woke up and you were so sweet and nice. We were not even fighting this morning. All I did was say sorry.
Did something happen to you this morning? I don't think so.
No, that's the thing.
You want to see crazy? I'll give you crazy. What's crazy? Oh, you're crazy. Are you crazy?
Have you drunk this whole thing this morning?
Oh, you got this. You got this going?
Just started it.
Oh, really? Really?
So that certainly does show a slightly different side. There were other moments in that tape where there were glasses being broken, etc., and it clearly doesn't show a very healthy relationship. But it at least shows something else that Amber Heard was referring to.
Yeah, the other part of this is it seems that Amber Heard has really documented all these problems, that she's got a husband who's clearly got some demons. I mean, and he's admitted so much with all the drugs and the alcohol and everything else. But she seems to have documented a lot of these interactions and instances and flare-ups and things. And I wonder how that makes her look.
Well, I don't know. I think that's a really good point. There's no jury in this case. It's just a judge. But this meticulous documentation of their existence together through contemporaneous photographs and text messages, recordings, it really looks as though at some point she thought she needed to be able to prove something, and she has a lot of it. So I was interested when Johnny Depp's lawyer today in court said, "You're just making this up as you go along." My reaction to that, having researched the case, is like, no, that's not true. She's not making it up as she goes along. She has the text messages from years ago, many of them over the years, and they do correspond with certain photographs and certain witness testimony, etc., plus trips that are documented as well. So there was something in particular that came up that she had documented, and it was photographs from a trip that they had taken to Australia, in which there were 3 bad days in a row. A lot of drug use that she claims Johnny Depp had taken, and she showed photographs of, or at least she captured photographs one morning of what she said had been an all-night drug binge by Johnny Depp, and that he had taken paint and blood and written messages all over the house. And here are some of the photographs that she had provided. It's hard to kind of make out what they say, call Carly, she said something or other. I mean, that's really hard to make out, but this is the stuff that Amber recorded over the years and photographed and cataloged, and text messaged people about as well. So she also showed pictures of some scarring that she had on her arms, and said that these were evidence of injuries. Now, that doesn't look very contemporaneous. If they're scars, it's a little hard to be able to say what that would be from. But, I think what you have to do is you have to decide when you listen to the two of them together, when Amber admits, and she does in one very long recorded conversation that went on for, I think, about 2 hours, in which they went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth at each other. She does admit to having been aggressive towards him. All along, she says that this is self-defense, but I think you kind of need to listen to this conversation and decide, really, is this an admission of Amber Heard being an aggressor, or is this an admission of Amber Heard admitting to being aggressive because of abuse? Take a listen, and you be the judge.
No, I didn't. What the are you talking about? And I watched you lie, and then I
didn't punch you.
And
by
then
the way, I'm sorry that I didn't
You
hit
punched
you
me.
across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you, babe. You're not punched.
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched.
You know, even a lot of fights been around a long time. I know. Yeah.
No, when you have a closed fist.
You didn't get punched. You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not deck you. I was hitting you.
You can't
I don't know
deck
what
me.
the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
How are your toes?
What am I supposed to do? Do this?
How are your
I'm not
toes?
sitting here bitching about it, am I? You are.
Oh,
That's the difference
you
between
poor
me and
toes.
you. You're a baby.
Because you start
You
physical
are
fights?
such a baby.
Because
Grow
you-
the up,
Because you start
Johnny.
physical fights?
I did start a physical fight.
Yeah, you did, so I had to get
Because-
out of there.
Yes.
You did. So you did the right thing, the big thing. You know what? You're admirable.
So listen, it's just really ugly to listen that knowingly being recorded between the two of them. I think it's really important to note, though, that there are more than a dozen allegations, very detailed allegations that Amber Heard makes about being punched and dragged by the hair and kicked and thrown to the ground and physically assaulted over and over again. Police were called out at one point, apparently a neighbor calling 911, a friend slash neighbor who was afraid. And when the police got there, Amber Heard said, I am not going to make a statement according to my attorney. And I think, Vinny, listen, many women and men who are abused in relationships will not say something. Add the layer of the fame onto this, and what an allegation like that that's made publicly in the criminal process would do to both of them, especially to Johnny. And you could understand why she would say to responding police, I'm not going to make a statement after a particularly, heinous allegation of abuse. But that's sort of what this relationship was all about.
Yeah. Terrible, awful relationship. I don't understand it. I understand it, but I don't understand it. At the end of the day, though, with all this stuff being aired out in public for everyone to hear, you got to wonder, is it really worth it? I mean, because ultimately it's just that there's the judge. The judge makes the determination here.
Yeah, it depends on what you think worth it is. Listen, there's some capping on certain kinds of damages, around $400,000 US, but there are also other damages that he could go after if he wins. But I think what Johnny Depp has said is that he can't get a job. He's saying that casting agents are just saying, "Ooh, wife beater." I mean, that's classic libel, right? Someone says something about you, and if it's not true and you can't make a living, boom, that is the definition of libel. So for him, it might be worth it to go through all this ugliness and have all of these warts exposed. But here's the weird part. What if it is, what if this process yields a relationship that looks like both of them were the aggressors? Then it isn't untrue, right? Even if Amber Heard did punch him, it's not untrue if he also punched her, that when the son says you're a wife beater, that would be the proof of it. I think it's interesting to listen to Juliet Bremer. She's the UK correspondent for ITN News, and she really talks about how this judge's discretion is really going to be the arbiter of what comes out the other end. Have a listen.
It is actually entirely at the judge's discretion how much he could win. So I suppose it would depend how much damage he thought had been done to Johnny Depp's reputation and how much perhaps he felt Johnny Depp was in some way to blame, even if he wasn't a wife beater. So it is possible that the judge could find that the Sun fails in its application because it hasn't proved he was a wife beater, which is what they labelled him in print, but he still suspects that Johnny Depp was on occasion abusive to his wife, but not amounting to that particular description. Now, if that was the case, he might find for Johnny Depp, who is what we describe as the claimant, so he's making these, or he's claiming that they libelled him. So he could find for Johnny Depp, but still say that he was only entitled to a small amount because he thought he was partly responsible for them coming to the view that he was a wife beater. Or he might say that actually it has been incredibly injurious to his career and to his persona and his reputation, and he can have millions of pounds. That is equally possible. We just don't know which way he'll go. But we have had in the past in this country rulings where the judge has found for the person saying they were libelled, but given just 1 penny, just 1p in damages. So if he thinks, as a lot of the public do, that both of these two are equally to blame, he could do that. But we just don't know till we've heard all the evidence.
So that's pretty interesting, Vinny, to think that if the judge finds that Johnny Depp's reputation has suffered, but that he could be, partly responsible for that, that could sort of negate any win he might get, because he may win the battle, but ultimately lose the war if the judge says, but I'm not going to award you the money. I think you've lived in a really irresponsible way, and it's contributed to everything that you're complaining about.
Unbelievable story, unbelievable trial. Ashley Banfield, I know we'll continue to cover it. Thanks so much.
Sure thing.